it's time for the second Steno vlog, and today I'm going to take you through all my back to school supplies. If you can call it back to school. I'm back to school in the sense that I'm going back to school, but it's my first semester at my new school. So it's kind of like an all new routine that I've had to get ready for. Now that I'm 2 weeks in, I kind of figured out what it is that I need and what I don't. And so these are the things that I've actually needed in school so far. All right, the first category is technology and what I like to call my Steno station. So first of all, I have my own PC that I bought during my job, and I use it for all my regular stuff and my regular hobbies. I also use it to take calls and go to online meetings for classes and stuff because I use my camera as a webcam and I have a microphone setup plugged in. However, I thought it would be good to have a separate station for school. In a lot of Steno School equipment lists, you'll see laptop listed because you need a good personal computer that you can use for all your software and all your technology needs for school. In addition, in the future when you do work, you do need a portable laptop to go to jobs. So even though my PC is sufficient for school, I decided to separate out my school stuff and put it on a laptop by itself. This has been very important in helping keeping me focused on schoolwork when it's schoolwork time, and not just opening tabs mindlessly and checking every notification and social media, because I don't log into anything except for the things for school. And I'm grateful that my dad had a laptop that he was willing to let me use. The next thing is obviously the machine. And there's plenty of resources out there on how to get a machine, how to rent a machine, how to rent to own, etc. So I won't go too in depth into that right now. But I just want to say that once again, I'm very lucky to have come into possession of a machine thanks to Marguerite Rogers, who was my instructor for the A to Z course at NCRA. I think she's also like a NCRA board or director person, and she's local to DC, and so she lent me her machine for the program, but towards the end when I said that I was committing to school, she was gracious enough to actually pass the machine on to me, so now it's the machine I am using for school. The one I'm using is an Elan Mira. It's quite old because it used floppy disks, it used compact flash disks, but luckily you don't really need any of that and it works completely fine on real time. So shout out to Marguerite, I'm really grateful. The next thing I recommend you have, which I guess you don't need, but you might have a hard time without it, is a good set of headphones. Because in Steno School you are learning to write from dictation, you're going to be listening to audio constantly. Personally, I have these Logitech G Pro X wireless headphones. These are just something I got from work, so I have it, it works. Great. And the one other bigger thing I wanted to mention was I also brought up a separate desk for my Steno station. So it kind of really helps create a separation between school and my regular life. All right, now into the fun little stuff. The first thing I have here are my favorite pens. These are just simple black ball pens, but they're really colorful and stuff, really cute. It's called the Mon Ami 153 stick, and they're just really basic ball pens, but for some reason I really like the way they write. I like the hexagon shape, and I'm sure you can find a lot of pens like this, so it's whatever you want. But I'm really thankful because I bought these before in Korea. I used them completely up until they were dry, and I actually can't find these in the US, so my sister brought me these home from Korea, and I'm using them really well. I'm using them every day. The next thing I have here is a little pencil case. This is a cute one that my friend Ethan got me from Japan. It's really small, it's really cute. Don't have anything in there right now because I haven't actually had to go out and study it. I would use this if I had to go out somewhere and study. The next thing I have is whiteout. And I'm just gonna make this clear, I'm not really a whiteout person because I usually just scribble out what I make a mistake on. Mostly though, I just really like the color. It's this really, really cute pink. And it just makes me happy looking at it, and just anything to make your study more fun is worth it. The next thing I got was sticky notes, and so there was a pack of 5 here, and I got 2 of them right here. I feel like sticky notes are just a really fun office supply and really satisfying, but I go through them so slowly. So I've had a couple of pads for years that I've just had to keep using up, and I don't get to buy new ones because I still have them. But finally they're running low, and I thought, I'm starting new school, might as well get myself some new ones. So I have new sticky notes. Given my personal rate of use, they'll probably last me a long time. The next thing I got was this little folder. It's just a regular folder, and I've just been keeping my printouts in here so far. And I got it in this bluish color that's kind of close to the school color. So it's pretty fun. The next thing I got is my notebook, and I always keep a notebook for school. I personally don't really enjoy digital notes, keeping them, taking them, looking at them. It's really hard for me. So I like to keep a physical notebook, and I also like to use these small size ones. I don't know if you can tell, but a regular size paper is up here, This is kind of like the smaller size. I've been doing this for a long time. I want to say I got my first notebook in this size like in high school. So I did that through college and I did it through university. And so I just got another in my favorite size. These usually come in multi-subject. So they just like have like a tab in the middle for different subjects. So this one has 3 sections because I have 3 classes right now. And there's also ones by 5-star that I've used before that have 5 sections and ones that have 2 sections. So I really recommend this because you can have all your notes for all your classes in one spot. The next thing I have is my planner, and this is something that was on my Christmas wish list. And this one's really cute. And when I'm in school, I like to have the weekly ones that kind of have a section for each day. So what I used to do was write my schedule on the left and then use kind of like a right column to write assignment due dates and a to-do list. But since school's asynchronous and I kind of get to decide when to do my assignments throughout the week, I've been using the left side as a to-do list and the right side I use to track my practice hours for writing on the Steno machine. If you don't have a planner, do it. And having the physical one again, I just struggle with the digital stuff, doesn't really work for me. Another thing I have here that I've been using for school every day is actually a drawing pad. And this is just because I don't have an iPad. And in the past like 5-10 years, the trend has shifted from reading physical books to reading digital textbooks and PDFs. And most of them are way too long to be able to print and read physically. So personally, I need to kind of like highlight as I read on a PDF to keep me focused. It's so hard for me to read that way. So I at least need to be able to highlight. So since I don't have an iPad, I just use this to be able to do the same thing on my computer. I just draw. And I've been using this to read my textbook chapters every day. All right, the second to last item I have is a little timer. And my mom gave me this little kitchen timer she had when I brought up wanting a timer. And basically what I do for this is I just set 60 minutes on here and I hit this every single time I do a practice session. And maybe I'll talk about this in another video, but since my current strategy is to do 3 one-hour sessions a day, this helps me do 1 hour and it just helps me stay on track. It lets me see how much longer I have to go in the session. And when it's over, feels great. I just kind of use it as like a little Pomodoro timer and it reminds me that I have to stay on task, stay focused, and once the timer's finally up, I can go check my phone or a notification or whatever. But when the timer's running, it's steno time. And the last thing I want to add on this list, which is a little silly, is this little drawing of Deft I keep on the wall in front of my Steno station. And that's just one of my favorite esports players, drawn by an online friend of mine. And it serves kind of 2 purposes for me. Because it's a little high up, it reminds me to have good posture while I practice. And you can look at that instead of the output on your screen. But also because Deft's story personally is very motivating and inspiring to me, and it helps remind me of what he did and what I am about to do. Alright, to close this out, I'm just going to update you on week 2. Week 1 was really hard and I was clocking out every day of school at like 11:30 or 12. This week I started to get it a little bit more and I'm starting to finish maybe at an average around 8:30. Sometimes it was much later and one time I got 7:30. So far, because we're still working on lesson 2, it's been still too easy, so I'm really looking forward to starting week 3 and working on some new material. So it was a little difficult to fill the hours this week and find challenges and little goals to achieve. So I didn't feel a lot of sense of achievement this week. However, what I did spend some extra time to do this week was I was able to convert my dictionary over to JSON format so I could use it in Plover, which allows me to practice real time on like typing websites and stuff. So I plan to use that to extend my practice in other ways. So that's everything I've been using in my first 2 weeks of school so far. I hope you enjoyed the information and let me know if there's anything you use in your Steno routine that maybe I should try out. Alright, see you next time.